Day 7. And it's an hour and a half after daylight when I finally get out here to the Quigley. But as usual, when I get up in the morning, like I did this morning, I got up at daylight, before daylight. And before I come out here to the Quigley, which is only about 140 yards from the house, but the Quigley is strategically positioned where I can cover most of the farm. I can cover 90% of the farm from right here, with long-range rifles, of course. But anyway, I get up and I look out in the field to see if there's anything already out here, because if you come out here before daylight, you spook them all. You allow them to spook something off. So I generally wait until it's daylight. Well, when I got daylight this morning, I had deer in several places around. So I thought, oh my gosh, if I come out here, I'm just going to spook them off, you know. I didn't want to do that. So I waited, and they just did all leave the field. So I'm late getting out here, but the movement this morning was during a regular, normal, early morning, late afternoon type movement period, because there was no solar period at all. This early, but there's one that starts at about 9 o'clock and goes to 10:30, a minor period. So I will stay out here through that period. Then I get back to the house and again start finishing up, getting things loaded up for the trip up to the mountains to do a little hunting. Good Lord, ladybugs, Lord have mercy, this place is corroded in them. It would be nice as the weather cooled down a little bit, stay cooled down, to get rid of these blue ladybugs. They are a scourge, they're a plague of biblical proportions. I kid you not, they're unreal. Now, I did not get any footage of all those deer at all, because you know why? Because my cameras are out here. Like I said in another video, I leave my cameras and my flintlock out here in the Quigley, so you're not moving them back and forth between the warm house and the cold air outside and creating condensation. That's especially not good for the priming powder in your flintlock. So I usually leave them out here, the cameras and the flintlock, but I might need to get a third camera, because I could have got a lot of deer footage from the house this morning, but I didn't get any. Matter of fact, there were 4 deer over here on this field behind the house, and they came right along the edge of the yard, right along the fence, and right around by the barn. Came right under the Quigley right here, 10 yards from the Quigley. Came through the gap right there, which is 15 yards over to the side, then walked right out in front of the Quigley here in the little flat. And they stood around there and fed for, 10 minutes, I guess. There's a lot of clover in there, and I plan or throw a little bit of rye seed in there. Whatever, they're feeding on weeds or clover or rye, whatever. Anyway, they fed out here in front of the Quigley for, anywhere from 15 to 20 yards for several minutes, 10 minutes or so. And then they went on about their business, and that left the fields empty. So then I came here in the Quigley. And that's got us caught up to date. Let's have cup of coffee and see what might happen. I'll go ahead and get my camera set up. Trusty thermos. So when I'm out here at the Quigley, right now there's no deer activity, but there were plenty of it this morning that kept me from coming out here to the Quigley. Go figure. That is a, we can find him in here. Where'd he go? There he is. It's a small buck, a spike buck. But I was just sitting there. Boy, all of a sudden, I mean, you hear a lot of shooting come from the gun club over here. But there was a shot rang out just a minute ago. It was definitely black powder of some description. It was black powder, big roar, and it was close. I don't know where that hunter was. If he had been here on the farm or a neighbor, I don't know. But boy, it was shocking, a shot that close. And then went out on the porch and a little Quigley here and looked around to see if I could figure out where it was or see anything. Turned around and looked, and that little buck was come out in the field here. And there's two gobblers in the field behind me here. So there's a little bit of activity, including activity from a hunter. That little buck there. He's been out there for a while. I just stepped out on the porch at the Quigley, looked around trying to figure out where that shot came from. That close shot. Then I saw up on top of the ridge against the skyline, through the woods on the skyline, right on the property line, I saw a young hunter. When I heard that shot, I came out here on the porch. Well, stepped right out here on this little porch. I'm looking around trying to figure out where that shot came from. And I finally saw finally saw movement up on the skyline there. And I got my binoculars out and looked. There was a hunter walking a few yards this way, then turned around and went back that way. He's right on the property line. The property line is right on top of that hill. He was following right along the property line. Looking like he was, to me it looked like he was looking for a blood trail or trying to find something. Didn't even see a gun in his hand. He just walking along looking. He was, if I can find it here. Where he was. He was I'll find it here, man. Nope, not there. Right there. He was right there. And to the best of my knowledge, that's only in 25 years of hunting the farm out here, I think that's only the second or third hunter I've ever seen in 25 or 30 years being out here. But that shot was so close, I knew that wasn't a gun club. Now, he said right on top of that ridge, all along it is the property line, you know, and me and the gun club has everything on this side. But on the other side, there's several, probably a half a dozen different property owners whose property come up to the top of that ridge. When I first started coming out here, 25, 30 years ago, one of the neighbors had one of them bucket feeders, you know, on a timer, throw corn out. They had a ladder stand sitting up there. That was 25, 30 years ago. And he hadn't been up there using that in years. And I look around, right over here, deer. And right along with a couple of turkeys. I believe the turkey had enough of him and ran him off there. deer? You think he's behind that big cedar there somewhere. that hunter that shot up here on top of the hill, a little buck that came out up here on this hill, and the deer that was interacting with those two turkeys over here, all that was during the mid-morning minor solar period, which solar period started at 10 or 9 o'clock with 10:30, and all that activity was right around the 9:15, 9:30 mark, up till 10 o'clock. Right around 10 o'clock, it all ceased, which is about normal. So it's about 20 after. Haven't seen any more activity. You just get a feel for it. It just feels dead. It just, I guess it affects you. The solar period affects you just exactly like it does the game or something. But anyway, I think I'll just close up shop right now. Head back to the house and see if I can't do something a little constructive. Like maybe take a nap or something, you know. Oh my. Anyway, it is a beautiful day. It's a beautiful, turning off kind of warmish. Hard to believe they're predicting snow here in the next few days. I don't think it'll amount to anything. Weatherman likes to hype stuff, you know, so they can get viewers, so they can sell advertising, I guess. But anyway, I'm sure it's going to turn colder, but yeah, don't worry about the snow. Anyway, I'm going to the house for a while. Well, I just got out here to Quigley, just did. And while I was sweeping up ladybugs, several deer, all those, came out in the east field. Well, I came out for the last little bit of daylight and a bit of a minor solar period. And we're going to see if any deer move. Daggone ladybugs. I'm missing a heck of an opportunity to, I mean, what a heck of an abundant food source, and I'm just letting it go to waste. I ought to be ashamed of myself, really. Also, I'm testing. I've got a problem. I don't know if it's with the SD card that I was using or with the video hardware software. I don't know. So right now I'm just testing. See if everything remains true or if it or if it all goes wiggly-fied on me. The picture's really been breaking up. For some reason I thought it was the SD card. And it still might be that the SD card, it'll read correctly if I just pull it up on media player, but if I pull it up into video software, it's crazy. It's wiggly. It's all over the place. So I'm back to the card that I have been using. So we'll see if that fixes the problem or not. one deer has come out up here in the upper corner. Looks like a slick head in here. It's got horns, it's got little ones. I can't see them on this little screen. But that one came out in the most common spot on the whole farm for deer to come out. And the other four come out in the second most popular place for it to come out. Still, no horns, and still, all of them, that one up there, that deer up there is 300 yards away, and these four over here 250. I don't believe I could reliably hit them things with my wood runner. 50 caliber flintlock with iron sights. It ain't that accurate. There are now 4 deer out up there on the top of the hill. And 4, that's to the north, and there's 4 to the east. All are does, not a horn amongst them that I can see with binoculars or on this screen, this little screen on this camera. Pulled up on TV, it might show a horn, I doubt it. If they've got horns, they don't have much of one. And you know, every day that I'm after deer, there will come a point in the day that I said, boy, I just don't want to shoot a deer after this time. Too late in the day, I just don't want to shoot one. It's fast approaching that time right now. But if one gave me a shot, boy, it'd have to be a good one. Or I just don't want to take a shot at a deer this time of day. Today. Every day's different. But with 8 deer out in the field right at the moment, I don't see a thing that I'd want to shoot at if they were standing right here in front of me. Which they're not. And on I'm sort of half surrounded by 8 does. I don't really want to go traipsing out and quickly and spook them, but if they don't leave on their own pretty soon, I'm going to have to head toward the house. There's a weather system coming in. One thing that weather system's liable to do, be good, get rid of some of these blasted ladybug. Lord have mercy. Them things drive the same person crazy. It's not just one here and there, it is thousands of them. I don't reckon anything preys on them. Birds ought to learn how to eat them things. They are definitely an invasive species, that's for sure. These deer up here on the hill, boy, they're coming towards the Quigley on the run. You start chasing each other, and they're coming right down the hill. They're coming right toward me. Let me get around here and get this set up. I amaze myself sometimes. I was watching those deer in that little tiny screen on this other little camera over here. See when they ever, if they came into view on that little screen. And they looked like it's out there on that thing 50 yards, 60 yards. When I finally raised my head up and looked, my God, it's right here against the Quigley. They weren't 10 yards away. And my movement or my noise was very careless. It spooked them. I mean, it didn't scare them silly or nothing, but it talked them into leaving, let's put it that way. They hopped a few feet, and then they just grazed on off. One of them stayed around here. It's still here. One of them's out there right now, probably 50, 60 yards. and I might as well close up shop and get out of here. Come back in the morning. Anyway, I had seen several deer today. Had 4 of them 10 yards away. But they were all does. The season's not open on does yet. What's crazy, you can't take a doe during the muzzleloader season. Can't take a doe at all. Well, one day, and that's tomorrow, I think. I think that's tomorrow. That you can't, I'll have to check my rules, my regulation, but I believe tomorrow you might be able to take a doe. But when the rifle season opens, it'll be open for a month and you can take a doe any day, all month long. With regular rifle, yet with muzzleloader, you got one cotton picking day. Sometimes these game commissions just don't make good sense. Anyway, see you tomorrow. Talk soon.